Hello Scorpio, this is your March reading. Let's take a look at the situation this month that is mostly on your mind. So that will be different for everyone. If your sun sign doesn't resonate, please check out your moon sign, your Venus, or your rising. If you don't know how to calculate this or you don't know your signs, just check out the description and there's a place there where you can go and calculate your other signs. And always keep in mind that readings can go both ways. So this might be the reading of your significant other or the person that's most on your mind these days. But let's just go straight to it and let's get some energies for Scorpio here. So what's occupying Scorpio's mind March 2024? What is Scorpio most concerned about and what do they need to know this month to get some guidance and reassurance? Please give me some cards in this situation. So this is the card that fell out. It's the card that's called Dream. And it says, believe in your dreams. They don't have an expiration date. Take a deep breath and try again. Don't let small minds convince you that your dreams are too big. Fall asleep with a dream and wake up with a purpose. So maybe some of you guys are trying to do something that's controversial or different, or maybe it's kind of out of pocket in your surroundings, in your family or your community, and they think it's absurd or not good enough for you, or that it's silly somehow. And this card urges you to do it no matter what. Or maybe you tried to start a business with something that nobody has done before, is very new and people don't really understand it. It can be many things, you know what it is, but just believe in your dreams. And even it says try again. So even if you have tried and failed many times, this is spirit telling you to try again. Just take a deep breath and give it another go. So if you are on the verge of starting something new or starting something again, this might be your reading. So let's see your past influences. What has led you up to this point, to this situation? Let's see. What is Scorpio's past influences that has shaped them into this situation? Okay. I see for some of you that in your surroundings or your workplace, your situation, your church, your community, or your family, that there was a person in power, somebody with authority that abused this power. So that's for some of you. That was the instant message I got. Or it's somebody who had a lot of responsibilities, but who didn't care. They didn't own up to their responsibilities and they didn't fulfill it. They didn't do what was expected of them in that role. And maybe this was somebody who was supposed to take care of you and they let you down somehow. This situation might have led you to a beginning that you wouldn't have ended up in otherwise. Because here's the beginning. There's the wand here and it's planted here. But I feel it's something that might be unconventional or different or out of the box thinking and very creative. And I think you're very passionate about this new endeavor, this project, this business. Maybe even you started a choir or started a group, a reading group, a Facebook page, or I don't know what you're doing, but it's as if you are very passionate about that. And for many of you, I see it's because you want to do something right. You have seen somebody else do something and you don't think it's right. And you're thinking, I can do better, or this is not how it should be. And for others, I see public speaking or just this gathering of groups to discuss something and talk about something. That hits me very strong. But that's the past. Maybe I'll see more accurate things when we have the present. So let's see more energies from Scorpio's current state. What this situation is about, this dream. So what is this dream? Again, here you have Seven of Cups. It's a card of choices. And it's a card where the choice is very... It could have a profound repercussions if you make the wrong choice. So it's a choice that, for some of you, is a very scary choice to make, because you have to know the repercussions if you make the wrong choice. For others, it's confusion, and it's the decision fatigue, that there's too much to choose. I don't know what to choose. And then you have Five of Swords here, which again is the mental, all the swords, and that it's a very difficult decision. And it's deciding about something that isn't, it's not a fun decision to make. But once you've made it, you will feel healed and in harmony with yourself, and you will have been true to yourself. This queen is extremely genuine. She's somebody who is very genuine. She's true to herself, who she is. She leads by being genuine. And she often does the opposite of what everyone else does, because she doesn't care if it's right in the community or if society says it's right. She only does what's right in her heart and what she feels is right. And to get to this space, you might have gone through being very confused, being frustrated, to maybe be in some conflict, battle of words, having people against you. Maybe you have been scorned or ostracized by your family, by your community group, or something like that. So this is not an easy journey to come out of this. I want to see more what this thing is. Let's see. Let's see what Scorpio is resisting in this situation. In this situation, what is Scorpio resisting? It's just, the cards are just falling everywhere. It's just chaos. It's just too much information, too much card, too much noise, too much mess. It's just too much. So I feel like you might be very overwhelmed at this point. And that might be if your decision or what you're embarking on is going against the stream, is going against your family's values, your church values, or you're going against the grain in society, or doing something that isn't really accepted in your startup business or your line of career or something like that. That might be a lonely journey, because you might lose some people along the way. I also feel this can be about coming out. And if you're coming out, you might have people around you who will judge that, not accept that. But at the end of the day, you're staying true to yourself. So let's just see in this situation what Cancer is resisting. Yeah, let's see. Oh, this is so beautiful. This is gorgeous, but no, it isn't, because you're resisting it. So let's see what we can see here. I feel that you're offering a part of yourself and you're almost drowning, because your emotions are so overwhelming. So this thing that you do when you're being authentic and showing yourself who you truly are, I think for many of you, it will be triggering. So it will trigger you and your own emotions will be extremely volatile for some of you. And I also get this sense of this fight and struggle just to stay upright and to stay within your light and within your truth. It feels extremely difficult, this path that you're walking on. But at the end of the day, you're doing it to be true to yourself, and you're not breaking and you're not bending or backing down. You're standing in it. But I also see that some part of you is afraid to move forward. It's like you're stuck at this stage somewhere. And maybe you've gotten such a scare that it kind of halted you, and now you're stuck some kind of in a loop and you're not moving forward. It's like you're being dragged back into the storm where you're constantly almost drowning. And maybe a part of you tries to move on and tries to keep going or continue with the next steps, if you have next steps or tasks or responsibilities, but it's like you're constantly being dragged back into this emotional turmoil that you have. Now let's see what unexpected help will you get this month. Scorpio, let's see if there is coming some good energies and some good help here. Already loving it. Look at this. Loving it already. Oi, this is crazy. It's just... I'm seeing that some of you, if this is a family conflict where you have gone against the family values and done something they think is very controversial, or if it's a community that you live in or something where you've gone against the grain and done something that they think is out of pocket, I see that. I don't see why yet, but I see that you're just like, fuck him. Like, this is dumb. This is too stupid. This is unreasonable. This is fair. You're closing that chapter and you're putting it behind you. And I see some of you don't even ever want to go back there. You're just closing that door and leaving it behind. Yeah, I just need some more clarifiers on these. I want a clarifier on this Chariot. So what is coming unexpectedly to help Scorpio in this situation? Let's see. It's again, I can't ask any more times because I'll get the same answer. There is no help coming from the outside. It's you're helping yourself. And that might seem like a very discouraging perspective, but it won't feel like that for you because you will somehow just merge into your spiritual self and your divine higher power, and you will tap into that power and you will feel strong and you will just feel strong. So maybe now it would seem exhausting to do all of these things or to move forward, but when I saw these cards, I said you can't move forward because you're constantly dragged back into this emotional turmoil. And here is the card for moving forward. So this comes after this, and it's unexpected. It's not somebody coming into your life. This is the power that you find within yourself. And I think that is unexpected for you. Because right now this might be so difficult. You might be exhausted. You might see no end to it. So you will be very exhausted that you in a few weeks or a little while will feel disempowered and this capable of taking action and taking steps and cutting off people and asserting boundaries, because this is such a contrast to this energy. So I get that will be very surprising. And sometimes, like the seasons shift, our energies just shift and we didn't do anything. It's just shifting, and it's freaking wonderful when you're exhausted and feeling like, oh, how can I go on? And then suddenly out of nowhere, your energies just shift and you get rejuvenated. It's like you're powering up. So this state of either keeping secrets, keeping cards close to your chest, not seeing a future, not seeing a way forward, not wanting to make decisions, not wanting to do any of your responsibilities or things that you have to do in everyday life. Everything feels like a struggle. You're exhausted. So you go from this, and I see this chariot. I mean, it's just skipping over, it's just jumping over everything. It's like a quantum leap. It's the opposite energy. It's awesome. So let's see the right next action for Scorpio in this situation. The right next action for Scorpio in this situation. Let's have it. With this card, I feel like I knew it was there the whole time. I could take it if I wanted to, but I wasn't sure. I also felt like there's no rush. This will be there. I picked this card first, and then, yeah, I know this will be there. There's no rush. I have access to this. That's what I feel. So the first card is Page of Pentacle in reverse. Then it's Ace of Swords. And then you have the Empress. I hear cutting losses. Cut your losses. That's what I hear. If you were at the beginning of something, if you had some school, some studies, you started some classes, or you had some connection with somebody, if something in your life was toxic or giving you a hard time, or if it burdened you in an already exhausting situation, and this extra thing on top of that, this responsibility or this obligation was taxing you too much, you're cutting it off. Because sometimes in life, when we're very exhausted, we barely can take a shower, let alone meet up every day, do something, or volunteer, or charity, or I don't know what this is, but it's something extra that you don't have the capacity for it. In your energy budget, there's just not capacity for some of you, and you cut it off. Even though I feel this, not embarrassment, but it's kind of like when people know that you do something regularly, and that you have a direction in life, and then you turn that direction or change route. Everybody gets so nosy, and you have to explain yourself. So I just feel this, for some of you, this uncomfortableness, like everybody's gonna start asking questions now. This is happening because, or this is your advice what to do, but I feel that when you're cutting the loss of whatever, or you're cutting out things in your life, this might also be relationships that are superficial, that doesn't serve you, but you do it to be polite. Anything that's taxing to you, you're being very genuine right now. You're being true to yourself, you're being genuine, and you're cutting out things that drain you and that are not true to yourself. You're honoring yourself, you're honoring your boundaries. So this whole process of this painful period is teaching you to be authentic in your life, to live an authentic life. And I feel this sense of pride and realization that in the end it's just a class. It's just this or that. It doesn't really matter in the end. I feel this relief that why was I so worked up about this? It's not that big of a deal. And then I'm talking about this responsibility or obligation that you've been hanging on to, even though it's taxing you in an already taxing life situation. But you're being such a good girl or a nice boy, sort of like you're doing your duty, doing your obligations. And that is so ingrained in you that even though you're going down with the ship and it's sinking you to the bottom, you still meet up every day to please everybody. So I see you're shedding this side of yourself, cutting it off with the sword, because this sword is the realization that you just had. And this, I think it's an eagle, I'm not sure, but this eagle has a different perspective. They see it all now. They see how it is. They can see all the sides. So they have a new perspective. And that's why you cut this off. Because you're being true to yourself. This is the thing that I said that I knew I had access to it. There was no hurry. There was no rush to take it. It would still be there after this had come out. So you have something in your life that's very sturdy and a very good foundation. And you know that even if you assert boundaries, even if you're being your authentic self, you're losing the mask, you're not pleasing, you have something in your life that will not reject you and that won't go anyway. This might be a person who loves you for who you are and accepts you just as you are, or a community or a group of people that will be there for you. They won't leave you or be mad or pissed when you start putting yourself first and honoring yourself. So that will be it for some of you. Yeah, so that is your advice. Cut off things that don't serve you. Definitely cut off things that actually drain you actively. Don't go for coffee with that person you don't really like at all, or the person you think it's boring to sit and chit chat with. Stop it. Why would you do that? That is so rude against yourself and is rude towards them, because you're wasting your time and you're wasting their time. I would hate it if I was sitting 1 hour with a person drinking coffee and the whole time they wished that they weren't there with me. They wished I was somewhere else because they hate it. So it's, free up other people's time so they can be with people who truly enjoy them, and free up your own time so you can make room for experiences and things in your life that you enjoy. And if it's hard to assert boundaries in the beginning, just lie. We all do it. Take a white lie. Say, I'm sick. I can't. I have my appendix burst. I don't know what you have to say, but just lie. Nobody cares. That's a good lie. That's a nice lie. That's an emotional support lie. It's good for you. Keep doing that until it's easier just to say no. You don't have to run before you know how to crawl. It's a journey. It's all good. So let's see the possible outcome of this situation. This was eager. That happened fast and a little bit unexpected the way it happened. Okay. Oi, this is all crazy. They're just jumping right out. I see that if some of you struggle financially, you will be victorious and it will be good for you. You will be very prosperous. You will go from having only 5 coins to having a whole armor in coins. And this is also the card of external validation, external praise, and acknowledgement. So whatever this endeavor is, whatever you're doing, it's something that will lead to recognition. So your decision, all in all, no matter how much people were against you at this point, when you're coming out of this on the other side, people will praise you for it and think that you did the right thing. This card can also be being marginalized and being scorned and being on the outside, not being allowed into a community or being into the group. So he's walking in that direction towards that with the victory. So it's gonna be all good. You're gonna be rectified. Is that a word? Something. You're gonna be justified. So I see that you're walking away from this heartache or this personal crisis that you had. Is moving away from that, and he's moving into this with the success is moving into this energy, right? And that's the energy of being on the outside, being poor, but also being emotionally poor or poor on friendships or self-love or something like that. So you're moving in the right direction. These cards are just reaffirming the same thing. This is the Hermit. It's about enlightenment, going within yourself. Being honest when you look at yourself. Being honest, am I toxic? Am I self-sabotaging? Am I working out of conditioning from my childhood? This is the light. This light is enlightenment. So he is being honest to himself. He's looking down into the abyss. And he's seeing himself with honest eyes and open eyes. And because he does that, he can heal. He can be complete. He is able to balance his emotion. The Temperance has balanced her emotion. She is stoic. She is calm. Nobody can knock her off kilter. She has done the work. She is healed. So I see this will happen. And let's just get one card from the universe to encourage you what you need to know. So what does Scorpio need to know in all of this? What do you want to remind Scorpio of the universe? This is your reminder. To feel better is the root of every desire. For us to feel better is the only reason any one of us wants anything. Of course, that goes if you want more money, it's because you want to feel good. If you want love, it's because you want to feel good. So at the root of everything, we all just want to feel good. If you had only one goal, and that was to feel good, you would live successfully and happily, and in a way of fulfilling your life's purpose ever after. And I think that was a beautiful sum up of all of this. An encouragement that be true to yourself and fulfill your life's purpose. So be genuine and be true to who you are. And let the haters hate, because at the end you will be triumphant and people will acknowledge you for this. Okay, so that was a pretty heavy reading, Scorpio. I hope you're doing good, and I hope you'll subscribe or at least come back in 14 days so I can do your mid-month reading. And until then, oh my god, this was so chaotic. I hope you're doing good, and I'm rooting for you, Scorpio. Okay, so until next time, bye bye.